Guys, and welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for joining me as we talk more about Daredevil Born Again. And specifically in this video, we're going to be talking about the viewership ratings. There's a lot of different numbers and statistics to get into here, not just with Daredevil Born Again, but with the other Marvel Disney Plus series as well. We're going to be comparing the first two episodes of Daredevil to those other shows and see how well it's performing at the moment. Obviously, we have the rest of the season to go. Once we get the whole season, once it's over and done with, we'll then take another look at the kind of viewership figures once the actual season is finished as well. But let's get into it. Let's break it down and let's see exactly how well the show is doing so far. So this comes to us from Cosmic Book News. Daredevil Born Again viewership ratings are on par with Agatha, lower than the Acolyte and Ahsoka and Loki. That's really, really not good. When you hear about it being lower than the Acolyte, and for me, The Acolyte is one of the hands down worst TV shows I've ever seen. I'm not talking about in terms of Star Wars. I'm talking about across the board, regardless of any genre. It's one of the worst pieces of content I've ever seen from a big production studio. It was so bad. And the fact that the viewership ratings for Daredevil is lower, that's kind of catastrophic in a lot of ways. So Disney has revealed the viewership ratings for the heavily promoted Daredevil Born Again series, and much like the show itself, they're off to a slow start. Roughly on par with Agatha, one of the lowest rated shows on Disney+. Just to go off on a side tangent, I absolutely hated Agatha. I kind of tortured myself by watching it. I didn't really want to watch it, but I wanted to stay up to date with the zeitgeist, and I wanted to stay up to date with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so I thought I'd watch it because you know, Death was supposed to be appearing, the first live appearance of Death, and I thought that would be important to watch as a Marvel fan. So I kind of watched the show, but I tortured myself. I really hated it. It wasn't good. Sorry, just to go off on a tangent with that. So the numbers are also lower than both The Acolyte, which was cancelled after one season because it was trash, and Ahsoka, rumoured to be cancelled after its third season, as well as Percy Jackson, and significantly lower than Loki. So, this is where we get into the actual numbers here. So, according to Variety, Disney has reported that the first two episodes of Daredevil Born Again drew 7.5 million views in its first 5 days, while the site reports it's the best debut for Disney Plus in 2025. Okay, so in terms of this year, I mean, we're only into the third month, but it's doing the best in terms of its debut on Disney Plus so far this year. And we'll check out against other shows that have been released as well. So, against Agatha. So, per Disney, in its first 7 days, Agatha hit 9.3 million views, which averages out to 1.3 million per day, while Daredevil Born Again averages out to 1.5 million. So, when it comes to an average across a daily viewership figures, then Daredevil Born Again is doing better than Agatha when it comes to average daily views. So, against Star Wars, for comparison to Star Wars, The Acolyte reached 11.1 million views in the first 5 days, 2.22 million average each day. Ahsoka around 14 million in the same time frame and a 2.8 million average. So, Loki Season 2 saw 10.9 million views in its first 3 days, which averages to a 3.63 million, more than double that of Daredevil Born Again. Yeah, I mean, Loki is one of those massive characters from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He's one of the biggest, most popular characters in the MCU, so I completely expect his show to do amazing. And a lot of people enjoyed the first season of Loki as well, so I did expect the numbers to be a little bit bigger there. Percy Jackson achieved 13.3 million viewers in its first 6 days, averaging around 2.2 million. The Nielsen ratings. So, we'll know more once the Nielsen ratings come out in about a month. Disney Plus automatically has Nielsen turned on in your accounts and is the industry standard to go by for viewership. Once again, Disney Plus invested Samba TV household ratings. Data Collector hasn't reported the numbers. So, since Daredevil Born Again is similar to Agatha, the Nielsen ratings should follow suit. Check out the ratings below for Agatha and the MCU debuts on Disney Plus. So, let's go down here. Okay, we'll check out the Nielsen ratings in a sec. We've got them down at the bottom of the article. So, lukewarm so far. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? The first two episodes, I've been speaking to people online and offline, and the majority of people are saying that it is good, but it's not as good as what people wanted it to be. It feels a little bit slow-paced. It's a little bit of a grind. But, I mean, the first fight scene in the first episode was incredible, in my opinion. And that last fight scene as well that left us on that little cliffhanger at the end of episode 2. I thought those two fight scenes were great. But everything in between, like, the dialogue was great. But it was a little bit slow-paced for a lot of people, I think. So regarding Daredevil Born Again, while the series has been retooled, it remains to be seen what exactly has been fixed. The CGI was mid at best. Yeah, oh wow, some of the CGI, especially in the first episode where he's running across the rooftop, some of the CGI looked pretty damn bad, I have to say. But then again, CGI doesn't detract myself from the actual show. I mean, it only lasts a few seconds, and it's not the be end all sort of thing, so I don't really care all that much, but it didn't look good. They killed and wrote off 2 fan favorite characters and replaced them with DEI substitutes. The Kingpin's wife is now better than him, and there was a lot of talking going on and not much action. The end of the second episode does leave room for hope, so cross your fingers. Yeah, like I was saying, the fight scene at the end of episode 2, I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but it left us on a cliffhanger, and it was pretty damn compelling, and I'm excited to see where they go in episode 3. The Rotten Tomatoes response from both fans and critics have been lukewarm. Both are at 83%, which is a pretty good score. While the Netflix series is much higher, averaging at 92 from critics and 89 from the fans, its first season on Netflix actually at 99 and 93% respectively. So, I mean, yeah, sitting at 83% critics and audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, I mean, that's nothing to be, that's nothing to be talked down to. I mean, that's a great score. A lot of series would kill to have a score of that high. So, this is where we get into some of the Nielsen ratings. So, Agatha Nielsen ratings. I don't really think we need to go through these individual Agatha episodes here. I don't think a lot of that's that relevant. So, we have the Nielsen ratings here for the MCU debuts on Disney+. So, WandaVision sits at the top. That is hands down the best Disney+ Marvel show that they've done so far. And it was the first one as well, I believe. So, 434 million minutes from the first 2 episodes. The Falcon and Winter Soldier, 628 from 1 episode. Loki Season 1, 731 million minutes from the first episode. Hawkeye, 853 from 2 episodes. Moon Knight, 418 from 1 episode. Miss Marvel, 249 from 1 episode. She-Hulk didn't make the Nielsen charts with its first episode. Second episode, 390 million minutes. She-Hulk, that was an absolute letdown. That was trash. Secret Invasion, 461 from the first episode. Loki Season 2, 446 from the 1 episode. Its second season went up to 588. Echo, all 5 episodes released at once, averaging 146.2 million minutes per episode. And then Agatha sits at the bottom at 426 million minutes. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of what's happening with all the Disney Plus Marvel shows. Pause and have a read if you need to, guys, at your own leisure. I went through it pretty quickly because there's a lot of information to read there. But if you want to go a bit slower, just pause it and kind of read it off your screen. But yeah, I mean, WandaVision sitting at the top and then Agatha sitting at the bottom. I would have expected Echo to sit at the bottom. I think for me, that was the worst show out of all of them, probably. Yeah, Echo just, that, I don't understand why that was made. I still don't get that, really. But guys, that's kind of where we are. So that's some of the statistics around the viewership figures when it comes to Daredevil Born Again. It's sitting lower than Acolyte. It's sitting lower than Ahsoka. It's not looking good at the moment, guys, and the lukewarm response to the first 2 episodes as well isn't exactly helping the show. But let's hope as the show progresses, more and more people get on board, word of mouth spreads. Let's hope that by the end of the season, you know, we're talking it up and talking about the praises of the show, and ultimately, hopefully it closes and it's a satisfying season of Daredevil. I really hope it is. They've already greenlit season 2, so they seem to be pretty proud of this first season so far. With that down, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Make sure to hit the like button before you leave. Consider becoming a subscriber of the channel if you haven't done so far. Goes a long way to supporting my content, so I'd really appreciate that. And as always, I will see you in the next video.